Check, 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 check. My apology, my apology, my apology, my apology. Okay, my sound is back. Okay, so what I was saying is, y'all missed everything I was saying. Make sure my tie right because I'm about to cook. So what I was saying is this. What I was saying is this. Our people come from a background where we challenged each other's philosophy as well as cultural essence, meanings. In other words, culture has an essence to it that is more deeper than what you see or what the eyes behold. And our people has always challenged each other's position to see what position makes sense. This has been going on since the dawn of man. The difference between what our ancestors did and what we do today, we have allowed people to intercede and convince us that opposing thoughts means beef, that opposing thoughts means war. And that's not the case. That's not the case. When two philosophers go head to head about the philosophy of life, it's not war. Because true seekers of knowledge would love the challenge that is presented to what they think they know, and they would love to challenge their brother or anybody for that matter to what they think they know, that we may get it right. The only way we can arrive at truth is your truth that you understand would have to be tried and true. In order for any person to gain strength in anything, they would have to have an opposition. Opposition is not always a bad thing. In fact, most oppositions are a good thing. Because if you were to go and lift weights, the opposition, the opposing force of gravity, or if you will, the weight, it will give you the fortitude to push it up off you. Ultimately, it's going to develop you. That's the same thing with philosophy. That's the same thing with religion. That's the same thing with culture, when cultures clash. At the end of the day, family, I'm looking for any qualified scholar of any other school of thought that is respectful and that is willing to put what they say they know and what they think is better for our people, put it to the forefront. And I will put what I stand on to the forefront. And at the end of the day, the people who are watching will be taught two different philosophies, and they will be able to grab which one makes sense to them. Period, point blank. It's so weak. It's so weak when our people think that two opposing thoughts or two opposing ideals is a beef. That is so silly to me. On Facebook, we have people that's on the chat of Facebook, and the first thing they say, why can't it be both? The name of this is, what truth will set us free? Is it the Nation of Islam? Is it the philosophy of the Moorish Science Temple of America? And people say, why can't there be both? Because I don't believe in both. I believe in one. I have faith in one. And my brother, he believes in the other and have confidence and faith in the other. That don't make him no less my brother. That don't make him no less my friend. So we need to get away from this wicked nonsense that when we have different ideals and opposing thoughts, that is some beef, that we're arguing, that no. That ain't what we're doing. We're doing what our ancestors did. Without any challenges, we be still riding a horse and buggy. If a person didn't look at the horse and buggy and say, man, I'm so tired of feeding this horse. maybe I can put some metal together and create a combustion engine, and I can get there faster. That don't mean they mad at the horse and buggy. They say, man, let me challenge myself. And that's how religion should be. That's how philosophy should be. Family, we only got one chance in this body that we have right now to get it right. And if we want to get it right, we better embrace all the challenges, all the ups and downs that life give us, all the philosophical approaches in life. We better embrace it. It's okay. Now, with that being said, my guest tonight, I got the chief. I got the chief. The chief, Abdul Malik Muhammad. Let me show you how this came about. Let me illustrate how this came about. First of all, I was minding my business. I was minding my business, and I started to get the flood of inboxes of a brother said that I was interviewing somebody and I was falling asleep. And now everybody know that the Grand Sheik is always up for the challenge. I stopped everything I'm doing, like fall asleep. So they sent me the link. Quite a few people sent it to me. Not just one person, quite a few people sent it to me. So when I go on to the thing, the stream that the brother was doing, it was the Sister Malik that was on here talking about how to eat to live. And he said the sister was so long-winded that I was falling asleep. And I'm saying to myself, I wasn't falling asleep. At the time, I had just changed my studio around and my camera was up high. So when my camera was up high and I'm looking down at the comment section or the chat or the controls, it looked like these big bug eyes is falling asleep, I guess. I don't know. I was like, nah, I was fully engaged. And then if I looked at my phone, I guess it looked that way. So now my camera is straightforward to me. But I had just changed the set around. As y'all know, I'm still changing the set around. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, he said that. And so I listened for a little bit and I'm like, man, it seems to me that the brother was grinding the axe with the sister for a second. You know what I mean? I heard the brother say that she named herself Empress. I heard all these things. So I'm like, man, let me reach out to the brother. So I reach out to the brother and I asked him, I said, brother, what's going on? First I said, bro, what you talking about? I'm falling asleep. He's like, you look like you were asleep to me. I was like, nah, brother. I was trying to explain it to him. Like, no, I was just looking down. This is my camera. Long story short, I even got into the part where I asked him about the sister. And he said that, you know, the sister expected a critique from him, and that was his critique. And he did it live. But I'll let him speak for himself now. Let's welcome our brother, Chief Abdul Malik Muhammad. How you doing, my brother? Welcome to the show, big bro. Hold up. Let me unmute you. Welcome to the show, big bro. What's going on, brother?
All praises be to Allah. I've been chomping at the bit for this.
You ready for this?
Please, what the moles say, if you ain't ready, you better get ready.
You better know
it. You better stay ready.
So, brother, before I get into and ask you about the sister situation, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where you from, and you know, what's your school of thought, or was or is? What's going on with you, brother?
Oh, praises be to Allah. Let me just briefly open in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. I bear witness, no God but Allah, and I bear witness Muhammad is his messenger. I greet everyone who is listening in the greeting words of peace. We say in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. So,
Yes,
brother,
sir.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm just a stumbling student. I ain't nothing special. I came out of Chicago, the ghettos of America, like most people, the rough side of the mountain. Back in the 70s, I was with Superfly, the back, Good Christy Love, and the rest of all of that. And I come up under that umbrella because my mama and my daddy wanted to be a part of that.
Right.
And by 81, I was shipped to Chicago because of some raids went down over there. And now I'm in Chicago. I get with the Black Peace Stone Rangers, and they cuffed me as a family. And I got into the things that my daddy did. I was into selling dope and gang banging and doing what I do. I ended up in the penitentiary, where I find the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Sunni Muslims, and the Nation of Islam. Come in a Christian.
Right.
In that time, I parlayed with the Moors and I parlayed with the Sunnis, and ultimately I settled with the Nation of Islam, and I blew from there and got out 15 years later, and I'm here now, and I'm doing things that I do. I could get further into it as I go, but I don't want to be long-winded. Just give you a little bit, and this is where we stand.
Mm-hmm. So our introduction come to Empress Malik, right? And you had mentioned that she named herself Malik, and she shouldn't name herself. What was that all about, brother?
Well,
that's why we talking. So I'm not falling asleep. All right.
That's good. You don't want me to show that clip where you did sleep over there. I wasn't even thinking Taharka Bey. I wasn't even thinking about you at the time.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking about you.
But that's what everybody hit me with, though.
Yeah, they hit you with because they want to see you up against Abdul Malik, Muhammad. You see, so we here now. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
So what I was doing, she told me that I see the live, and I thought it was Sunday night, but it was Saturday night, and I missed it. So she said, "Well, I want you to go check it out, and I'll go and critique it." She's a student of mine under prayer and fasting, so I'm always critiquing her and critiquing all of them. It's a bunch of them. So I went through it, and I looked at it, and I saw you nodding, but you were actually looking down. But then I saw you staring at the camera, not looking down, and you kind of blinked a little bit and kept blinking. And I had about 50 people look at it, and they studied it, so I won't be the fool.
Right.
And 50 people say, "Yeah, he a little tired."
No, that's not.
But it ain't. But Taharka Bey, it ain't nothing wrong with being a little tired.
No, you're not gonna put that on me. I wasn't. I've been doing this for over 10 years, brother. I'm not. If I'm tired, I ain't gonna do it. Ain't nobody paying me to do this.
Okay, good. Well,
see, that's that Nation of Islam slick talk. Ain't nothing wrong with being tired. That's that old slick Nation of Islam talk. Ain't nothing wrong with being tired, brother. If I'm tired, I ain't doing no live stream.
Well, I thought that the man was made out of truth and falsehood. Strangely,
no. I haven't overcome that type of falsehood. That's petty.
Oh, okay, but you ain't got no falsehood in you.
I ain't got that type of petty falsehood. I just don't go live.
But it wasn't petty. But it wasn't nothing against you.
No. We go. That's. I tell you, that's that slick NOI stuff. Is that right, brother? If you tired, ain't nothing wrong with being tired. Is that right, brother? Teach, minister. Nah, brother. I was not one lick of tired. Even if I was, I would not nod off. I would cut the show and go. No, but I literally, my camera was up high, so you ain't gonna slip that in. No. Okay, and I say sis did a wonderful job. And as I mentioned to you in private, I said, I believe that sis did a wonderful job. And most people of the NOI don't even want to come up here and have a dialogue because they're so shook of the opposition of thought that I oppose. And you said, I ain't scared. Yeah.
But it's really nothing. I mean, it wasn't about that. It was about what I was training her on.
So the main thing is the critique of the sister. So
it was more so that, and then you got it because she sent it out and it went off like that. But I don't want to cherry with that. That's small. If you wasn't asleep, guess what, brother? You wasn't asleep.
You're still going to sleep. I thought we talking about you calling the Empress thing, brother. What you said? She named herself Empress and all this.
We on another question. I thought
you follow me, brother. No, I said forget that. I say I want to get to the part where you were critiquing the sister. You're still on sleep. You sleep.
Okay, let's get it. Okay, you on Empress now.
Yeah. I was like your critique of the sister. You know what I'm saying?
One of the points was Empress. She's been with me for 6 years. She never used that title.
Okay.
Then she told me that Melchizedek told me to use that title.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay. Say less. She said he told me to use it before I went out. And he said it would be good for my presence, etc. And when she said that, I don't argue with my elder. The scripture says, lower your wing at your father's because they were taking care of you when you was little. So I followed that. So that's what that was. But I was only going through her points, showing her where she can be stronger at. That's what we do. Steel sharpen steel and man sharpen man.
And you went live with that. All right, let me move on after. What compelled you to go live to critique her?
Wow, I'm glad you asked that, brother. Because when she came on, she said that you had mentioned my name. And she said, why don't I just read the text that you gave me that was private?
Okay.
And then I said to her, okay, we can do that. But you in the dojo, you already know that. It ain't going to bud well. She said, I don't care, let's get it. Which she used to that type of fight because that's what we do. So that's how it went up going live. Because once I show the text, I got to keep it in context with some of the excerpts that I sent to her to get better. So that's how that went down. So that's why it ended up going live.
Okay, I got you. So today, what we talking about today is, and you're the guest, so I'm gonna give you the floor. What we talking about today is what truth can set us free, and that hangs upon the saying that Jesus said, "Truth will set you free," and the Nation of Islam has a philosophy that will take us to freedom. If not, I don't think you would be a part of it. And the Moorish Science Temple of America also have a philosophy that would take us to freedom. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't be a part of it. With that being said, let me ask you some questions first. Do you believe, have faith and confidence that the NOI has the ultimate answer for our liberation and freedom?
I do.
Do you also believe that that the NOI message is flawless? There is no errors.
No, the
and when I say the NOI, I'm talking about Master Farad Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad. I'm not talking about Farrakhan. I'm talking about them Master Farad Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe any of it is flawless. And in our lessons, it says that these questions are very near correct. Anything that is near correct is not 100% correct. And Jesus, in the Bible, it says, Jesus learned obedience by the things he suffered. I suffered. Me and you didn't talk. You suffered to be where we're at right now. He said, and once made perfect, he became the source of eternal life for all those who follow him under Melchizedek, the high priest. Made perfect, once made perfect. He was imperfect before. And what we're dealing with is imperfect. Allah says, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, nor do you have nothing in your mind that can tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. It's something new every day. So
but when we say that, when you say that, that Master Farad Muhammad is a law in the person of Master Farad Muhammad.
Allah was here before he was born.
No, what I'm saying is, so does that give because I believe that Prophet Noble Drew Ali message is flawless. I don't believe no errors in it. Not one. I don't believe not one iota of an error is in Prophet Noble Drew Ali's message. Not one. And I would debate anybody on it. You know what I'm saying? Now, so what I'm saying to you, but he doesn't call himself a law in the person. You know what I'm saying? But you have Master Farad Muhammad is referred to as a law in the person. And so I'm asking you, do a law in a person only gives a message that is near right? Or right in exact 100%?
I'll give it like this. When Master Farad Muhammad gave us the life-giving teachings, and Noble Drew gave you all those life-giving teachings, I've been with you all for 33 years. And I have yet to see an individual in the Moorish Science Temple and the Nation of Islam stand on that letter or that truth that Allah gave us through the person of Master Muhammad and Allah gave to the Prophet Noble Ali. I have yet to see one of us exemplify the word becoming flesh and making this dwelling amongst men. So how perfect could it be if you're not exemplifying it and I'm not exemplified to that letter? We can strive for the perfection of it, but I don't see us doing that just yet.
I don't think that's the question, though. The question is the message perfect, not the one that's striving to become the message? Is the message perfect? That's what I'm asking.
I would say the message is perfect enough for us, because I'm not in no arrogant position where I can say it's perfect. Well, it's so perfect. Then why you ain't eating one meal every 3 days? And he told you should. If it's so perfect.
This is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, let me reiterate. I'm not saying that the person who is striving has perfected the message. I'm only asking very simply, is the message perfect?
It's perfect to me. Absolutely.
Oh, that's what I'm asking. So there's no flaw in it.
I see flaws in it, but that's my see. I don't want you to. I don't want you to corner me into a position saying just some hand clapping, foot stomping, foaming out the mouth. That's right. Go ahead, teach hard type of Negro.
Teach hard, Muhammad.
See, I'm not trying to be boxed into that. Yeah, the nation is the only one for anybody. The Moors should sit down and the Christians should sit down. You don't have that in me.
Yeah, but let me say again, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I believe that people will find themselves where they can solve their problems best. That's number one. Now, number two, but that doesn't mean that the message isn't perfect. You see what I'm saying? Just because it's not, just because another person don't see the perfectness of the message, you are one who subscribed to it. So I'm just asking, is the message perfect? And I'm speaking for you, speaking for yourself, and not for you, but in the sense that it's perfect or it's not.
It's perfect enough for me, absolutely, but I can't speak for everybody else.
All right, let's move on now. So the basis of this is the truth. Which truth can set us free? And I'm gonna yield the floor to you and ask you to lay out the blueprint from Master Farad Muhammad, and I guess the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Can you paint a picture? Can you paint a picture to us what the walk look like from one point to the other?
Praise be to Allah. I sure can. I had a program that you said you could share it to the screen. Let me see something right quick. Make sure I got this right quick. Hold on.
And while you doing that,
I got it.
We can hear that clear. You can play that just like that, for real.
I can actually show it and it'll be even that much more impactful. But I just want to get to the stamp point. Okay, I got it. 204. 205. Let me share my screen with you right quick. Let me pull it up here. Hold on 1 second, beloveds. Okay. Okay. And I will pull this up right quick. Hold on. All praises be to Allah. And I thank you, brother, for allowing me.
I'm having fun. I'm having fun looking at the comments. It look like they wait. They wait for you. They wait for you to pop off, brother. Indeed.
Tell them don't worry about it. And indeed, when I pop off, I'm gonna pop off. Let me get this right quick. Everybody.
So, family, make sure y'all share this. You know what I mean? And let's see. So somebody said ones won't know unless they apply it and we see what was done. Everyone's answer will be different until their work is done. I disagree with that. Milan, I disagree with that. Let me say this. If someone has a car in the garage, either the car runs or it doesn't. That's it. If the car is engineered and it runs, it runs. And it's not a question whether or not. If someone asks me, do you think that car runs? It's either yes or no. It's not, well, it runs for me. it runs for me, but I can't speak for everybody else. No, either the car runs or it don't. So that's the way I see life anyway. I believe that Prophet Noble Drew Ali's message is right, exact, 100% right and exact. I don't believe there is no error in it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm ready to stand on it and defend the philosophical approach of what that message is. Now, at the end of the day, of course, everybody ain't going to believe it the way I believe it. That's fine. But that doesn't change the fact. I say every letter that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali put on paper and spoke out of his mouth is right and exact. And I'm ready to defend it. You know what I'm saying? Philosophically.
Okay, I'm here. I'm trying to pull it up right here.
Are you about to pull it up?
Okay, here we go, right here, brother. I'm gonna give you this. No. Get where I'm at. Okay, I'm back where you at.
Y'all ain't got no echo there, do y'all? Everything good?
Okay, and there you go. Sure. There we go. Can you see it, Mo?
Okay, there we go.
Y'all see it?
Yes, sir.
Everybody there? All praises be to Allah. What a beautiful thing right here. I want you to see this screen right here. This is why I believe these life-giving teachings is perfect. First of all, I want to say something about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad only finished third grade of school. The third grade. Before he had to go work in the field with his father and ultimately going through the troubles of life and ends up in the Nation of Islam. At this point, a third grader was able to accomplish what you see on the screen. And he gave us a blueprint on how to manifest these things. He didn't just talk about it, he beat about it. We know that the messenger, when he passed, he left us 51 to 81 million dollars in circulation going on from the shipping of fish, from the farmland, from the stores from 47th Street all the way to 80-something Street in Cottage Grove and different cities all over Moscow, all over America. This is some of the evidence that if he can do this with a third grader, what can he do with us who are advancing as time marches on? But he says the first thing you want to do is nationhood, leadership. You see it there, and then you see the training would be the University of Islam. And we have brilliant students coming out of the University of Islam, proposed educational center. Now, this is just not for the messenger, because now that the messenger is gone, we haven't seen it reproduce yet. But we have the tenacity and the knowledge to do it, but we're not doing it. He speaks about us having our clothing line, but we buy clothes. We buy Michael Jordan's, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and all the clothes that this world has got. See, the brother Taharka Bey was telling us that we got to talk about our truth. Now, all of us have this truth that the messenger not only spoke about what we're talking about right now, he actually executed on it. And if you see here, he did the clothing, the cotton, the hide, the wool. These are the things that he said we can do. He didn't just talk about this, the capital dry cleaners. We had all that, the clothing factories. These are the things that he had already established with the third grader. Mosque number 2, clothing store. He's telling you import, export. He did this. This is what he has left us an example. See, his footprints are clearly cut in the sands for us to walk in. We don't have to walk through sand where no footprints is. This is what the messenger gave us. He gave us the single house dwellings. He gave us homes, apartment buildings. These things are not things that we're talking about getting. These are things that he executed, and I have a video, a short video that's going to show that. New construction, land to build, shelter, giving us food, clothing, and shelter. But as you can see, I want you to take a screenshot of this because I don't want to belabor the point. But all of these things were executed, and I want to horsey back over here. Can y'all see this too? Taharka Bey, you see that? Can y'all see my screen? Taharka Bey. Can you see my screen? Can you see the screen right here?
Now we see the screen that's up there, the orange screen, nationhood leadership at the top.
Oh, no. Oh, you can't just jump around on this thing. This ain't like, let me get out of that. Get out of that. Understand. Okay. Let me get to where we at right there. Okay, here. This one will be. Sure. Can y'all see this?
We see the same screen.
Oh, the same. No, you're going to see.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Right there.
And I want to show you some examples that the messenger gave us, and these are some of the reasons why I think it. It's a few. It's only like 2 minutes. Let me push it.
Oh, bro, I don't want you to get. We're gonna get a YouTube strike if you pay other people YouTube videos, brother. You can explain it.
Oh, you can. Okay, you can't. Oh, you can't do that. Okay,
nah,
over here.
You can strike playing somebody video. That's somebody else intellectual property.
Oh, okay, well, let me do it better than that. Let me see. Well, we can't explain. You can't even show it. Then let me get out of that.
If you turn the volume down, maybe, and you can talk over it.
Yeah. I'll turn the volume off. Matter of fact.
Yeah. Then you can do it like that.
Yeah. Let me turn it off. Okay, here it is. As you can see, this is the secretary of the nation, 1975. Let me pay attention to it. He's telling you about what has accomplished. Every year in the Nation of Islam, we would give it to you and let you know what's happening. And here is a Muslim import. Here go the fish house that the messenger. Here's Shabazz supermarkets. Here's a coffee shop that we put together through the messenger. Here's the office building on College Go. There's the office building again. There's the bank that we had right there on Stony. Remember, this is back in the 1970s and the 60s. You know. A little beep right there, as y'all can see. And the mother of civilization. There's some meat markets that we had with halal meat. There's our trucking company there. There's there's some housing unit buildings that we've had, factories that we've had through the messenger. Here is the palace over on 48th and Woodlawn that Minister now, his farmland that we've had. So this is a man, this is not a lip professing man. This is a man who was a man of action with a 3rd grade education. You know, that is the mosque that we're currently in now, 7351 South Stony, that the messenger bought. That's the University of Islam right there. You can see some of the beautiful sisters that are there, you know, striving to be at one with Allah. Okay, let me see. It should be coming off right about now. Praises be to Allah. As you can see, that sea of white. These all the way down the street, he owned everything over there for the nation. Everything on both sides. And we have a documentary that I can actually drop in the chat on the documentary that he's speaking on right now. But these are some of it. And here's another store. There's a supermarket for us. There's a Shabazz barber shop. There's a cleaning for us all right here. You know, praises be to Allah. There's a housing for the believers that the messenger purchased. You know, amongst many. And Brother Bashir, he over here killing it, as you can see. So You know, I'm not. I graduated from the 12th grade. And I ain't got no real education. I graduated out of the University of Hard Knocks in the belly of the beast, and I got these life-giving teachers in there. So I'm really a boots on the ground type of guy. And so what sold me the most on the nation is how this man can be able to accomplish so much as he's done and galvanize all these brothers and sisters in unity. You know, and J. Edgar Hoover says the number one threat to the United States of America is Negro unity. So here's something he's definitely defying that and fighting against J. Edgar Hoover and the counterintelligence programs, trying to keep us divided and conquered. You know, so here we go. It should be about ready to land on this, and I'll close out and use myself as an example for one. Okay, a couple more minutes. I think that's it. That's it right there. So I will close this out. My beloved brother, let me see, where do I have this at? Okay, stop sharing this. Stop sharing this. And get back to this. Praises be to Allah. How much more time do I have, Taharka Bey? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
You got much time you want? You want me to respond to some of that you just said, and then you can pick up after I respond a little bit?
Okay. I mean, yeah, you can go ahead. You can respond. Yeah.
So first of all, let's be clear. When brothers in the NOI say that Elijah Muhammad only had a 3rd grade education, let's be clear that he was a 33rd degree master mason. Mm-hmm. And sometimes 3rd grade represents the 33rd degree master mason. He was a master mason. Mm-hmm. He lets you know that himself, that he was a master mason. A 3rd grader that is ignorant to the level of academia could not be a master mason. Let's be clear. Mm-hmm. So to keep saying that he's a 3rd grader as if he was ignorant and didn't know how to read, write, or articulate himself is disingenuous, because he was a 33rd degree master mason. Master mason. And I got to keep saying it. A master mason. Mm-hmm. It's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, when you said that he left us this, that, and the third, he didn't leave you anything. Mm. Those were his things. Mm. Everything that Elijah Muhammad obtained was in his and Clara Muhammad name. They weren't in the Nation of Islam name as it relates to an organization that was for the people as the people represented. Mm. This is why when he transitioned the children, and the main one was Warith Dean, obtained all of the assets as well as the bank accounts was split up, because it wasn't for the nation. These was his things. Let's be clear. And this is the first time that people are going to hear it like this, and they're going to hurt their feelings. It's going to hurt their feelings, because these was all his things. They weren't the Nation of Islam as an organization. Because if it was the Nation of Islam as an organization, they would have been passed down to the organization. He was the supreme head of the organization, and everything when he passed went to his children, to his family. Nothing. And this is why I have so much respect for Farrakhan, the older Farrakhan, because he put it on his back and he had nothing to work with. This is why Farrakhan deserved respect. I mean, this is why Farrakhan have respect. Now, so when people keep saying these things that we had this, we had that, we had this, we didn't have nothing. Those were workers for Elijah Muhammad. And at the end of the day, if you go look at the paperwork, you can see that he owned everything. It wasn't owned by an organization. Case closed with that. So when you're talking about nation building is not relying on one person. Nation building relies on a collective in order to bring it to fruition.
Mhm.
And when the messenger transitioned, he was one person that obtained all these things by the way of the worker bees working in concert with one another, but it was all in his name or Claire Muhammad name. And that's the
Mhm.
fact of the matter. The records will prove that. That's number one. So that's not
Mhm.
nation building. That's not
Mhm.
nation building at all. It appears to be, and it looked good, and it sounds good, and a lot of people got jobs, and a lot of people corrected themselves, got off dope, got off prostitution, and they did some beautiful things. But that's not
Mm.
nation building.
Mhm.
That's not nation building. Now, with that being said, let me.
Okay.
Oh,
You
you want
said that he was. Look, I just want to rebut that a minute. You said
okay? Come on,
he was a master mason.
Master Mason.
When did that happen, brother?
He says it himself. You never
No,
heard him
no.
say that?
Listen, I'm not asking if he said it because you said it, and
No,
I'm
no,
only dealing with the living.
no,
I'm not dealing with that. I'm asking you. You said because I'm hearing it. I think I've heard it before,
no.
but now
He
I'm
said it.
all right. He's
He
a
said it.
ma-
I'm
oh,
repeating what
oh,
he said.
okay, fine. At one point, did he become the master mason that you're speaking about?
Listen what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I'm only repeating what he said.
Okay.
Now
I
listen. Now
didn't hear him
listen.
say that. I didn't hear him
Listen.
say that.
Listen. Listen.
Mhm.
You never knew that he was a master mason?
No, sir.
You never heard him say he was a mason?
No, sir. And if you could privy me that with that information, I would definitely
While
like to
you're
have it.
talking, I'm gonna look it up and bring it to you. Of course, he
Sure.
said that. He has
Okay, fine.
speeches on that. No, he
Fine.
has on YouTube. Oh my God!
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
didn't jump in the fire now, brother. You
There,
didn't know that.
do you know Meshach, Shadrach, and a bad Negro was in the fire?
Ho
And
ho
Allah.
ho ho ho
Let me say this. Let me
ho ho
finish.
ho ho, bro. Ho 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 ho.
Let me finish, and I'm
No
gonna
no
give
no.
you
Hold up. Before
because
you get to
because
the
no
analogy,
because
brother. Let
no
me be
because
clear.
listen.
No. I just want to be clear. You never heard that Elijah Muhammad said he was a Mason.
I remember vaguely, but I never focused on that too much. But if you saying that he was a master mason, then my question is, I'm not denying that he was. I'm saying that at one point did he endeavor into that school of thought? Because if he had a third grade education and he learned trades and stuff with his hands, it doesn't make him an ignorant person because he was at a third grade education. I got a 12th grade education and I got a lot going on. I'm saying that time marches on. And if he became that, when I got in the Nation of Islam, I was ignorant. And I've been
Brother,
all over
listen
the
to what I'm
world
saying.
because of
I
that.
don't think
You
you
understand?
understand what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, it really doesn't matter when he became a master mason. Ideally, he became a master mason before he became a member of what would become the Nation of Islam. According to himself, he says this.
Mhm.
He said he was a mason until he found Master Farah Muhammad, and I'm paraphrasing now, until he came across Master Farah Muhammad, and he let it
You,
all go. That's what he said. So,
but
so,
how did
so listen to what I'm saying.
mhm.
You don't become a master mason uneducated, illiterate, and ignorant. It doesn't work like that.
That's interesting.
It
So,
doesn't work like that.
so most people who go to school go in ignorant, and as they start going, they get educated as they go. Do you think that from the age of 8 to 30, when he possibly got into the Mason, do you think that he didn't learn
You
nothing
have
in
to
that
be
window of
18.
time?
You have to be 18 years old at least.
I know that's what I said. From the age, I'm saying from the third grade, he's born in 1897. So I'm giving him 8 years old to be a third grader. So I'm taking him to 1905. So if he did become a Mason from 1905, he learned a lot from his daddy, who was a businessman. And he learned a lot, and he didn't have to go to school for it. I think schools is for fools.
So this
Me
is what I'm
personally.
saying to you,
But
brother.
yeah.
I'm saying is disingenuous to keep saying he a third grader when in fact he was a master mason. So it
Okay.
doesn't matter whether it was the third grade unless you measure your standards on European education as it relates to the third grade. But I'm telling you, the third grade is significant to a 33rd degree master mason.
Well, I'm not gonna argue that point, but I want to say this. Malcolm X went to the 8th grade. and confound the scientists all over this world. From with the 8 being taught by, I'll go with you, the 33rd-degree Grand Master Mason. He taught Malcolm, and Malcolm was able to confine them. He wasn't a Grand Master Mason. You see what I'm saying?
No. I'm not talking about. We're only talking about Elijah Muhammad. Let's not move the goalposts. What I'm trying to say is that when you keep saying third grade and people keep saying third grade, but we can move on from that. That is disingenuous. That's disingenuous. Now, I think it's very disingenuous unless you understand the true history. But now,
but that's a matter of opinion, Taharka Bey. That's a matter of opinion, and everybody had those. And you to say that's disingenuous, that's heartless. You know, if a person says he's this and that, why would I have to critique something so small as that when we over here trying to build and show these people a great time right now?
No. We're not trying to build. I disagree with you. This is not building right now. I disagree with your concepts of the path towards set us free.
Come on.
I'm not building with you right now. Let's get out that space. We're saying what path is going to set us free. You introduce the Elijah Muhammad's building program, right? I'm going to introduce Prophet Noble Drew Ali's, right?
Absolutely.
I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Okay. I'm telling you that what you're putting forth is disingenuous, and you don't have to agree with me. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but it's disingenuous. Now, I'm telling you, you want me to screen share my stuff?
Oh, I had.
You want to go again?
Well, I know I was just going to show what I was going to, because you told me.
Go ahead, brother. Handle your business. Go ahead, brother.
Check this first. He left us nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you said. He left us
correct.
Nothing. Right. Good. I agree with you as far as physical assets is concerned.
Brother, that's all I'm talking about. Let's not get into the metaphors, because that's all I'm talking about.
No. Right, all right.
All I'm talking about is the tangible assets. That's it.
Absolutely. That's what
I'm not talking about philosophy. I'm talking about the tangible assets, because you showed tangible assets.
Absolutely.
And that's all I'm talking about. So I ain't gonna let you remix it and say, but he left us a good path. And that ain't what I'm talking about.
No.
I'm talking about the tangibles that you showed.
Right. But if you allow me to afford me the opportunity to land my plane.
Go ahead, brother.
Because I don't want you to keep throwing trucks in the runway when I'm trying to land the plane. I'm trying to give you something, and then you can frame it better if you allow me to land my plane. You frame it good, but when you frame it before I get through, I can't paint it. But what I'm saying is that the physical things that he left us is irrelevant and immaterial for me. I just need the footprints on how to do it. That's why I'm a successful man now. I took the footprints. You know, I don't think there's a black leader living that built up a lot of money and left it to the next generation as we go. I don't think none of us did that yet, because we just too new coming up from slavery doing what we're doing. The first superstars I know was Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan. Those are the first superstars I've known. So I'm not looking for something, a handout. I took what I saw them do and I materialized that. That's why I got so many buildings and so much stuff going on now, not because I went to school for it, because I never did. I got it like that. But I really want to show in closing to validate what I'm saying even more so. Let me see. Here you go. Okay, go ahead. Can you see this? Is it visible, Taharka Bey?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 10-4. Well, you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. Likewise, you can tell a man by his works. I'm a student of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the Honorable Miss Louis Farrakhan. Good, bad, and ugly. I'm a student of it. But if you can see, this compilation of pictures is an evolution of my life, from the streets to the chief. If you can see me here with all this diamonds, I'm 17 years old in Las Vegas at the Mike Tyson and the Sugar Ray Leonard and Hagler fight. but I knew nothing about these life-giving teachings. I left here, I ended up getting indicted. I went to prison for 15 years. I didn't know nothing about the nation. This is me right here in prison, where I was touched by the Nation of Islam. As you can see me evolve, me getting out of prison, and the things that you see, me the top fisherman in the nation. Not only did I get to this level, I also went up to being a chief in 2 villages in Africa, where I built 2 mosques out there, 3 classroom schools, gave 4 water wells there, and I've also paid for the Eid feast for 5 years. I did this in the last 4 years, everything that I said, but I did it under prayer and fasting, the foundation to success. I attribute this nothing to those who went before me. Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He desired for us to be in Africa. I didn't know I was going to be there. I ended up running into people and got me to Africa. But these are the things that I want you to see. This is why I say these life-giving teachings, if they are practiced properly, you can materialize and let this mind be in you that was also in those before us, Christ Jesus, etc. It can actually happen. Right now, if you look back at Jesus, he said, there's much that I could tell you, but you can't bear it now. But when he comes, the Spirit of truth, he will guide you into all truth. Well, the Spirit of truth is here right now. And if you look at the J. Edgar Hoover file, where he says to stop the rise of a Black Messiah who can electrify and unify the warlike propensities of Black people, and he gave you a list of people that fit that criterion. He said Malcolm X is a man like that. Stokely Carmichael's a man like that. Elijah Muhammad is a man like that, but he's up in age. He said Martin Luther King is a man like that, if he would accept that war-like propensity that the Nation of Islam has. He went on and on, but he gave you a description, and we got that from the Freedom of Information Act, and found out how he was infiltrating our ranks, the Moors, the Nation, the Sunnis, the Christians, etc., Black organizations all over. So what you're getting is a bird's eye view from Allah, that the characteristics of these people are exemplifying the spirit of truth that could guide us into all truth. Now they're gone, and now you have Taharka Bey, you got me, you got different brothers all over the country, that the spirit of truth don't stop. No matter what truth he has or what truth I have, those truth has to become flesh and make their dwelling amongst men. So in my closing, I want to send you here in my closing. In my closing. Everybody all right? Okay. Okay, here you go. Let me get here. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Are you good? You got one more thing.
Can you hear me?
We
Okay, we can. That's not Facebook. Let me see. I'm gonna get you a strike for that. Let me go here. I'm trying to find it. Okay. Get back over here. Let me stop this. Okay. Windows. Facebook. So I'll go here. Oh, okay. I really don't want to play that. Okay. Can y'all see the screen? Hey, Taharka Bey.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, from the streets to the chief, here's some of the things that the student of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has accomplished in Africa. Okay, let me see.
Organization in the northern region, Viting Senior High School, Islamic Senior High School, and Ambaria Senior High School each received 10,000 cedis to enhance teaching and learning.
The donation by the Prayer and Fasting Foundation is intended to support the beneficiary schools to enhance teaching and learning. Addressing staff and students of the beneficiary schools, Executive Director of Prayer and Fasting Foundation, Wayamba Malgu Na Mohammed Abdul Malik, expressed his readiness to use his influence to champion the cause of development in the North.
I've heard about your academics and how you all placed the top 2 or 3 in the region for so. And I could not just leave and go to Accra. I have to go and meet the chief imam and inshallah the president. But I wanted to come here and show a token of appreciation for all of you who showed up at the Multi and made it such a success.
Management of the schools expressed appreciation to Wayamba Malguna and Prayers and Fasting Foundation for the kind gesture and called for more support.
I want to express our joy and delight to have you. This donation you are giving to the school, we want to assure you it will go a long way to help improve some challenges we have in the school. I want to assure you that it shall be put to good use, and we'll report back to you how it has impacted teaching and learning in the school.
Each of the 3 schools received 10,000 cedis to invest in the development of students as a foundation's way of giving back to society. The 3 schools have also been adopted by the foundation for future support.
This is News 360.
In the studio here, and we'll be having that very interesting conversation. There will be a launch of an NGO tomorrow. Is it tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the name of the NGO, Chief?
It's Prayer and Fasting, the Foundation to Success Ghana.
Okay, okay. What's it about, actually?
Prayer and fasting, number 1, is about extending our lives.
Okay.
This is why. In America, we pray and we fast for 72 hours a week, meaning we do not eat anything from Thursday to Sunday.
Okay.
Reason we do that because scientifically speaking, it kills all of the cancer cells and the diabetic and the high blood pressure that lives inside of our bodies that we're unmindful of. We fast 72 hours, which gives our body enough time to rejuvenate white blood cells and things like that. I happen to be doing that since 2019, October 24th, so about 6 years. My 6-year anniversary was October 24th, where I don't eat for 72 hours. And it's an international movement that we put together. And that's how we ended up in Ghana. We met a brother, his brother, Adam Abu Bakr Abdul Latif. Okay, that's it. That's all I need. Boom. Let me get out of this. Okay, I'm gonna get out of this. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, brother Taharka Bey.
Yes, sir.
And
So,
I close that is my layout. That's why I believe that these life-giving teachings will affect you, because if it could take a wrench like me from the streets to the chief and be helping millions of people all over this world, I think that the apple is a sweet apple, and the fruit of Islam is definitely bearing beautiful fruit. And let me be the example of what my grandfather put together for us. May Allah continue to bless you. I'll leave you as I came in the greeting words of peace.
all right. Now, what I want to do is, brother, I appreciate what you did. What I want to do is I want to remind people what we're talking about. All right. That's what I want to remind people. I want to remind people that we are talking about which truth will set us free. Now, what the brother just did was he's illustrated a lot of self-indulging, uplifting fallen humanity, which is needed and well respected. But that's self-indulging, uplifting fallen humanity, if you will. What I mean by self-indulging is that he went to Ghana, he did some things, et cetera, et cetera. But we're talking about us here in America. What truth will set us free? That's what I thought we was talking about. And we're talking about the teachers of the Nation of Islam as it relates to, in contrast to the teachers of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Now, I want to bring people up to speed. You said first you showed all of these successes, all of these buildings, all of these fisheries, all of this land. And then when I say that the we is not the we that it was Elijah Muhammad owned it, you came back and remixed and say, well, no, they ain't worried about that stuff. I'm looking at the blueprint now. Well, if you were looking at the blueprint, you didn't have to show all the pictures of all these tangibles in the first place. Then, so you went straight up over to the finish line, but you couldn't get over it. You had to backtrack and say, well, no. It's what he did now, not so much the physical stuff, but you showed all the physical stuff. It doesn't make sense. Secondly, I'm trying to help you understand, and even brothers in the Nation of Islam to understand that are listening, that when Elijah Muhammad says that he had a 3rd grade education and that he was a Mason, many times you will hear 3rd grade. And if I was going to go there, I didn't know I was going to go there until I organically do my thing. I would have showed you how many people say they went no further than the 3rd grade, and they was 33rd degree Mason. So somebody in the chat, I think it was Gerald Hall, he says, well, he learned that after this or after that, after this. No. According to Elijah Muhammad himself, according to before he met Master Farad Muhammad, he was a Mason. Fact. I mean, now somebody say Elijah Muhammad didn't own anything. That's right. The NOI did not own it. That was all in Clara Muhammad. Do anybody want to come in here and debate me on who owned it? I got all the records with Elijah and Clara Muhammad on all the records. So don't play with me. Anyway, back to my point. So now let's get to what we're talking about. When I look at a path to liberation, I'm looking at a collective as a proof. Now, you showed a graph where Elijah Muhammad is the supreme head, and I'm using supreme head as the top of the pyramid, if you will. And then you didn't show organization in the sense of nation. What you showed was what would come off as auxiliaries. You showed auxiliaries. If you put it up, I can show you what I'm talking about. Those would be more like auxiliaries because you're talking about the food, clothes, shelters, how the MGT, the FOI, those are more like auxiliaries. You know what I mean? With that being said, let me share something with you. First, when you look at something like this, you're looking at what the Prophet Abdul Malik calls, these are a group of what you call adapts. These are the people in the Moorish Science Temple of America that was leading the charge of nationhood in the Moorish Science Temple of America. All right. Now, that's number one. Number two, I don't need that now. Number two, when you look at this newspaper right here, right? November the 13th, 1928. This is a letter, 1928, inquiring to the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Write a letter to the Supreme Business Manager. Notice the term, not the Prophet Noble Ali, to the Supreme Business Manager, 3140 Indiana Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, and let him know what you think of the Moors having their own town, own mayor, alderman, chief of police, judges, city hall, own temples, own land, own houses, own parks, own businesses, establishments. Let me stop right here. This was the precursor to a lot of the work that was set in motion by Prophet Noble Ali. The inquiry was first, right? With that being said, when you look at these people right here, you're looking at a part of what is called a council. Prophet Noble Ali is the supreme chairman, but the whole council is what governs the Moors. It's not one person. So from its inception, the Moorish Science Temple of America was designed as a nation to govern itself, not just calling itself a nation. When you look at the Supreme Grand Council, right? The Supreme Grand Council is the judicial part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. As you can see, there's the letterhead on the left-hand side, and then I AI'd so everybody can see it clearly. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was the Supreme Grand Chairman. Lomax Bey was the Supreme Grand Governor. Let me explain to you what the Supreme Grand Governor does. The Supreme Grand Governor governs every governor in every state. Every state, there's a governor. All right? Every state, there's a governor that governs the membership of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And then on a national level, there is a Supreme Grand Governor that oversees them to make sure there's checks and balances. Right? And then you have the Supreme Grand Sheikh. The Supreme Grand Sheikh is the national representative, right? That is a national representative that governs all of the sheiks throughout the country, around the nation. In other words, there is checks and balances everywhere. This is how our nation is built. Ross, now, this is the one I really like. Richard Ross Bey. Richard Ross Bey. He was the Supreme Publicity Director and Supreme Grand Field Secretary. What that position was, it was kind of like the FCC. They controlled what went out on the airwaves to make sure that people had a clear conception of what the Moorish Science Temple of America was before the media, what it was and what it wasn't. That was a Supreme Grand Council move. Now, every temple also had a publicity director that would control the media to let the media know what it is not. Now I'm gonna talk about how it collapsed too. Don't wait a minute. I'm gonna talk about how it collapsed. But then we had Green Bay. He was the Supreme Business Manager. He overseen all of the temple businesses to make sure that there was checks and balances. And then you had W.H.A. Moore Bey. He was the Supreme Historian to make sure, my mic is too loud. Let me turn down. I'm sorry. He was the Supreme Historian to make sure that the historical concepts of the Moorish Science Temple of America would not be misconstrued and misunderstood. And so in each temple that was teaching the history of our people, it had to measure up, and the checks and balances was W.H. Moore Bey. And then you had Pearl Drew Ali, the prophet's wife. She was the national secretary. She overseen all of the state secretaries within the Moorish Science Temple of America. So this is how the Moors was governing themselves. This is how nations are built, because you need councils. One person cannot be a nation of people. Although you have people following you, although you have people subjected to you, but one person cannot be a nation of people. And what I'm saying about all the work that Elijah Muhammad did, it was in Elijah Muhammad's name, and the people were just worker bees. And when he was gone, that was gone also. And people have to face the fact. That's the fact of the matter. Now, I'm going to get to what happened to Prophet Noble Drew Ali assets too. So in the Moorish Science Temple of America, I just talk about the judicial. Listen, I was talking about the judicial aspect of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The jurisprudence aspects of the Moorish Science Temple of America is also governed by this council right here. In other words, if Moors speak out of turn, speak wrong, then the council would convene and say, man, that don't sound proper. If the Moors wanted to bring something to the table and said, how do you feel about Moors smoking cigarettes in the temple? You know what I mean? It wasn't one person that could say yay or nay. It would be brought towards the council, and the council say, nah, this is why we don't do that. And then they would have a consensus and say, no, there's no smoking in the Moorish Science Temple of America temple. I'm giving an example of how it worked in concert. It's just not Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He put the system in place, and then we act out the system. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm talking about it's a whole governing system. It's a whole governing system. So the judicial part is the Supreme Grand Council. But wait a minute, that ain't the whole thing. If you look at the judicial part, that's the Supreme Grand Council. Let me go right here real quick. No different than how the United States is governed. You have the legislative, which is the grand body. The grand body, that's another subject to be talked about. But the grand body is the grand governors, the grand sheiks, and those people come together and they work toward the common goal and agenda for the nation. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the executive office, consistent with the executive office in the United States. You have the executive's office. That's the grand sheik and chairman. The grand sheik and chairman and his staff is a whole office. You follow what I'm saying? The assistant grand sheik, secretary, treasurer, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? This is a whole format laid out by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is a whole format laid out by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Somebody said this is Babylon because they don't want to govern themselves. You don't want to govern yourself. But this is how we govern ourselves. How is this babbling when we're talking about governing ourselves just like any other civilized nation of people govern themselves? What are you talking about? Anyway, and the last one you see is Supreme Grand Council. That's the judicial aspect of the Moorish Science Temple of America, as I just explained. So this is how a nation is in development. When a nation is in development, there has to be a council in place. And without a council in place, without a staff in place, there is no nation. Nations are not built the way that you just explained it. So when I look at the truth that has set us free, the one truth is what you said, the moral aptitude, as well as the industrious works that each individual have to take on. But the other part is that each individual must work as a collective in order for the nation to thrive. What you explained was what you did and what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad inspired you to do. See, what we work for in the Moorish Science Temple of America is what we can do together to become not only a nation what word I want to use. Not only do we want to become a nation in word, but we want to become a nation in reality. I'm talking about in the nation in the same form as Italy, in the same form as the United States, in the same form. I'm talking about with all the bells and whistles of a nation, no different than the nation that is in any nation in Africa, any nation in England. You say you went to Ghana. This is what the Moorish Science Temple of America structure is all about. Now, I'll share this with you real quick. You said that what Elijah Muhammad did was phenomenal. And I do agree it was phenomenal. But one thing you're not mentioning is that those benefactors that allow him to do what he did didn't happen until the 60s. Late 50s, 60s. And many of those big benefactors was racist Europeans. And that's a fact. And we can prove that. You know what I mean? Now this person said governing is no land. Okay, 95 promotion. In fact, I'm glad you said it, brother. I'm glad you said it. Let me share a few things because the brother said governing in no land. Okay. Listen, first I'm gonna do this. First, let me show you this. When you was talking about the money that the prophet that Elijah Muhammad had acquired in the 70s, because the numbers, a lot of things of what you're talking about is in the late 60s and the 70s. Let me show you this real quick. Let me show you this. I think this is it right here. All right. This is one year, right? And I think it got two temples on there, which I have all of them, but this have two temples on them. This is 1 year. You know what you're looking at? You're looking at the temple report of one of the biggest temples and why Detroit was so pressed upon to infiltrate. Detroit Temple, as you can see, had a standing of $19,000 in 1927 through 28. In today's money, that is over $250,000. In fact, with inflation today, that is $364,756. That's one temple. There was 15 temples. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali did that from 1925 to 1927, 2 years. So when you start talking about Elijah Muhammad. When you start talking about Elijah Muhammad did this and did that, that's fine. That's fine. But let's remember that Elijah Muhammad did that in over 30 years, maybe. From 1935, 34, whatever, to the late 60s. He didn't start getting like that until the 60s after he started getting benefactors. Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moors did this within 2 years. And I'm talking about 15 temples. You're talking about the newspaper Muhammad Speaks? The first newspaper is where this article come from. The Moorish Guide. The Moorish Guide. I mean, the Moorish Guide. The newspaper, the Moorish Guide. Now, in the Moorish Guide, they publish all of their receipts, if you will. All of the businesses, all of the stores, everything. Somebody say 2 years. That sounds like a bad business venture. How is 1925 to 1927 and one temple having over $350,000 is a bad temple, a bad venture? That sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. We name a business today that in 2 years they have a worth of, and I'm talking about just one. It was 15 temples. I'm talking through the comment section too. It was 15 temples. Name one today. I mean, name one today. So the point that I'm making is this. Number one, I want to remind people what we're talking about. What truth would set us free? When the Prophet Noble Drew Ali transitioned, of course it was, if it was infiltrated. Of course it was. When a group of us can establish themselves in 2 years in the way that the Moorish Science Temple of America was established, of course it was infiltrated. Somebody's talking, say, what about land? The research shows that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali got land all the way in Virginia, land in Indiana, as well as in Chicago. Guess what? The infiltrators still got that land to this day. They still got it to this day. They still got it till this day. Till this very day. The infiltrators that ultimately stabbed Prophet Noble Drew Ali are still running around to this day and claiming to be the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's what happened to it. All of the assets in the newspaper, it tells you that those infiltrators squandered and took the stuff. They still got it to this day. They're quiet and low key till this day. So when you say that nothing is never passed down, it is. But once the hand get in it, we already know what happened. So Raheem says, set us free from what? That's a good question, and then I'll pass it. At the end of the day, we need a framework to walk from subjugation to liberation. We're still subjugated to the oppressive system of imperialism here in America. So what we're talking about is set us free from subjugation, governing ourselves like Chinese govern themselves. The brother say he went to Ghana, govern ourselves like the people in Ghana govern themselves. We are a nation people within a nation. Why wouldn't we want to be set free from being governed by another nation? Why? It only makes sense. And in order to do that, there will have to be a framework for that to happen that anybody can pick up and use. The framework that you laid out, you said it yourself. This is what I done. The framework that I'm working, it's about what we're doing as the Moorish Science Temple of America to bring us into nationhood. And I'm working that framework as I speak. As I speak, I'm working the framework. Many of the Moors and the staff, they are in here watching right now. I'm working it as I speak. I just don't plaster it on the internet. but we're working it right now. Now, I yield it to you, brother. Oh, you can't. There you go.
All praises be to Allah. Beautiful, brother. Beautiful. You know, and what you just laid out is a mirror image of what I said. Both of the great men that we had, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, both of them did a good work. And both of them in their work crumbled. And they're no longer here. Now it's just me and you, Taharka Bey. It's on us now. You said that I spoke about what I spoke about. I was really showing what truth does and how truth will set you free. And it set me free. And that's what I told you, from the streets to the chief. That's just one. We had Malcolm X, we had Martin, we had Muhammad Ali, Louis Farrakhan, and millions of other brothers around here doing great work. You know, so although the Moorish collapsed, the Nation of Islam collapsed, we could care less how they collapse, because it's not relevant to my phone bill today, here, June 6th of 2026, has no relevance to me. So I'm not over here to really tarry long on what it used to be. I just showed you how the truth will set you free if you can apply it. This is why we are pushing this. I'm not even going, I had a bunch of things I wanted to cross-examine, but I'm not here for this, my brother.
No, cross-examine, brother. Why not cross-examine?
The reason why, you know, because it's, I mean, the layout that you gave and the layout that I gave, it's enough for the people to take it and wrangle over it and find the truth in it. But what I want to leave with, Fruit, is that together we stand, but divided we fall. And none of us has perfected these life-giving teachings that the messenger gave us, that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave us. We need to take those tools, you know, of the carpenter and do the workshop in the mind, because something is going wrong that we can't unify with one another after 96 years, and we have no unity here. And I can go to Ghana. I didn't go because I wanted to. I went because Allah guided me in that direction. I didn't know I was going to be any of that, but I saw unity 100% in Ghana amongst 25 to 50 million different blacks. So I got an opportunity to see both sides. And I come back over here in the hells of North America and see that with Noble Drew Ali, we couldn't unify the brothers. With the messenger, we couldn't unify. They showed signs of unity. That's why J. Edgar Hoover said, stop the rise of a black messiah who could electrify and unify us. And the question was asked to J. Edgar Hoover, what is the number one threat to the United States of America? He didn't say China, Russia, Al-Qaeda, you know, Palestine. He said Negro unity.
Brother.
So once they go through that, let me land the plane, black man. Afford me that opportunity. I didn't say nothing when you was talking. I sat here and listened to you, and I had a lot of things I wanted to object to, but I said I rose above my emotions. But all I'm saying to us is that the truth that we're looking for today, for this day forward, I was just giving you why I chose the nation, and you gave why you chose the Moorish Science Temple of America. And the people can see clearly what you said and what I said, and they can see what it weighs, whether it weighs high or low on my side. It really is, it's immaterial to me. What I want to show you is that if you apply these life-giving teachings, you can be all you can be, like the reserves. And I didn't mention that we have the 9 ministries that we're putting together, me, Dr. Alim, and millions of other people who had this set. These seeds planted in 2007, and we're cultivating that and ultimately trying to make something happen for our people. But me personally, I'm saying that we're going to have to do what the scripture said, be in bondage for 400 years and come up out of her with great substance. And that's you and me. And I ain't saying leave America. We got to come out with great substance. So we have remote jobs here. So we build property in Africa, our motherland, and get some of the ancestor spirit that didn't leave, and it cultivates and eradicates the Rockefeller Foundation state of mind that we had, the ones who can just recite and never reason. Right now, we at the table of reason. The Holy Quran said, come, let us reason together. Jesus said. And we arguing in the best manner. You don't see me going off on Taharka Bey. I love Taharka Bey. Taharka Bey, good man, you know, and we're going to do big things together. But I just want to say in closing to you all, if you want to, he said, he didn't say, we shall know the truth. He said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Every man must find refuge under his own vine and fig tree. And if I don't fix myself, then I can't unify with nobody else. And that's what everyone has to do. Self-improvement is the basis for community development. So I leave you as I came once again, Taharka Bey. I've exhausted my time, but I leave you as I came. And I thank you for this opportunity to speak, brother. And I yield the floor to you to go from there.
Indeed. Look, at the end of the day, let me make sure my mic on. At the end of the day, I look for a intellectual contest to see what makes sense. And it always come to the point, let me mute your mic real quick. It always comes to the point where someone always want to give a feel-good speech. This is about academia. This is about historical accuracy. This is about political structure. This is about religious structure. But at the end of the day, it seems like we as a people always try to stroke our emotions and start talking the talk where everybody can say, well, yeah, we all need to get along and we're brothers. That don't even have to be said. This is about historical accuracy, structural accuracy, as well as practical application towards liberation. It seems like we can never stick to the script when it comes to a conversation that is predicated upon moving in a direction where it takes us to be accurate. And it seems like we got a long way to go, because the preacher does the same thing. The preacher says all of the feel-good stuff, all of the mushy stuff. But when you start talking about the intricate workings of the Bible and the accuracy of who Jesus is and who he's not is, well, brother, we're all brothers in Christ. And that's what this conversation and many other conversations always tend to feel like. I'm hoping that one day that I can get an NOI brother who's academically sharp on the matter, so we can really engage in an academic conversation without the emotions and without trying to smooth it over with feel-good commentary. Because, brother, with all due respect, everything that you just said was nothing more than feel-good commentary. Because we're talking about which truth will set us free, not me, us free. That was the agreement. Which truth will set us free? I'm looking for structural processes. I'm looking for all the things that will set us free as a nation, whether it's a political structure, whether it's an economic structure, whether, brother, you didn't say anything in reference to structural liberation. Nothing, nothing. And somebody just say Wesley will cook me. Wesley is scared of me. Wesley is intimidated of me. Real talk, Wesley is intimidated. I invited him on the show many times. You know what I'm saying? He used to come on the show until I started questioning the comparisons of NOI and the Moorish Science Temple of America. And then he said Farrakhan gave him, the minister gave him a what did he tell me that time on the phone? He gave him a gag order. He had a gag order and he couldn't speak. So with that being said, let's move on. This is my brother here, and I think we're gonna have a strong friendship going into the future. But brother, let me ask you this. Are you currently a member of the Nation of Islam today?
Yes, I am.
And you know it's different variations. What Nation of Islam are you under today?
I'm under Master Farah Muhammad's Nation of Islam.
Oh, come on, Chief. Chief.
If you ask me a question, brother, and I give you an answer.
Hold up, Chief.
What do you want from me?
Hey, Chief, hold up, Chief. Hold up, Chief. Hold up.
You want to straight jacket me?
No, brother. No, listen, brother.
What do you
know what I mean?
I feel like I'm being waterboarded.
No, but don't feel like that. But listen, we know we got Royale, we got Farrakhan, we got come on, that's all I'm asking, brother.
You know, the scripture says, other sheep have I who are not of this fold. I don't have to be in the Moors to be a Mo. I don't have to
absolutely
be
not.
Listen, I don't have to be moving under that order, that structure.
But I'm specifically asking.
I come from under Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Minister Farrakhan. There you go.
I come under that.
But are you? Let me ask you a question. If it's not too personal, but are you actively with the minister today?
I'm actively with the minister, but I'm not functioning under that umbrella. Other sheep have I who are not of this fold. That's the scripture, meaning that I have more sheep running around the world doing what they're supposed to do, and they don't have to be on 7351 South Stony Island. And I'm not there. But the minister is my mentor, and that is the leader of the Nation of Islam.
But at the end of the day, brother, if you feel confident in the group process of the Nation of Islam, why wouldn't you still be a part of the fabric of what is going on with the minister as well as the brothers, the FOI, MGT, under that umbrella? If you're so confident in it.
Mm-hmm. And if I am extraordinarily confident in it, that's why when you see me do the things that I do, it's a reflection of the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam is a launching pad. A launching pad is where rockets blow up and go through the moon or wherever they're going to go. Well, I'm one of the rockets that was on that launching pad, and I blew up and I move out and I start making things happen. And I always give honor and respect to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and my Nation of Islam as being an offspring. So if I did anything in Africa, did anything in Dominican Republic, did anything in Canada or China, it all stems from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That is the branch of the tree.
But let me say, with all due respect, we're talking about moving as a nation of people. And as a nation of people, you're springing from the organization, and now the organization is going on without you. So that's not nationhood, if you will. Let me ask a more reasonable question. Is the Nation of Islam nation in reality or nation in concept?
Well, all of us are nations in concept. The Moor is a nation in concept. The Nation of Islam is a nation in concept.
No, our framework is a nation in reality. The framework is.
But we're not, we have that same framework, but we're not dealing with frameworks. Babies can have framework and have nothing but be in their room with a framework. And that's what we are, just framework people. But we're trying to graduate and take what our fathers gave us and materialize it and make it structurally sound. That's what we're trying to do. That's why I'm here with you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to tarry with this or that. You know, I mean, to each his own, Mo. To each his own. Man will find his truth and find where he can solve his problems best, wherever he's at. And I'm solving my problems where I can solve them best. Where I
got you, brother. It's just me. I'm interested in us being a full-blown nation. And I'm working with others. Hold up. And I'm working with others to hopefully put a dent in achieving that. In other words, I'm working with others in the framework that I showed you. I'm working with others to make sure we have this council. I'm working with others to make sure that we have all of the bells and whistles for us to unfold into a nation. That's what I'm saying. I'm not just saying that there's a framework. I'm just saying that I am working the framework because I believe in the process of the collective. I don't believe in the process of the individual. That never works. I don't believe I can springboard from the Morris Science Temple of America and become my independent success. My success depends on what we do as a collective. That's where I'm at with it. And until this body is in the ground, I will always stand on that. My success depends on the us, not the me.
Praise be to Allah.
When I say us, I'm not even just talking about the Morrison's Temple of America. I'm talking about us as a people. I mean, us as a people. Because if you go to any of the temples that I'm a part of, you're going to see every facet of our neighborhood, every facet of our culture in there. You're just not going to see fezzes like they used to be in the 80s and the 90s. You're going to see everything. You're going to see some dreads. You're going to see some locks. You're going to see some perms. You're going to see some naps. You're going to see some fezzes. You're going to see some kufis. You're going to see everything. Because I believe in us all need to get together in concert to make it work. I don't believe in the individual.
Beautiful. I believe the same, brother. This is why, Malcolm said it best. Malcolm said, the biggest mistake that we've ever made as a people is trying to unify a sleeping people. And as long as, give me 1 minute.
No, I'm sorry, brother.
As long as we are continuing to dib and dab one back and forth with one another about what the nation can do, what the Moors can do, who are we selling this to? Because the people have failed sound to sleep. So
brother, we're having a dialogue. It's just a dialogue.
No. But I'm dialoguing. But allow me to let me land the plane, so you can get what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that I don't mind having a dialogue, but like I said, I don't tarry long on something that is it's not showing, it's not bearing any fruit. We already saw. We still want to unify with something. See, this is a form of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. When will Michael Jordan break out and make something happen and stop running with the program, with the us? That's why Doug Collins said, Michael Jordan, you just do what you do when you get on the court. Because I gave y'all all structure, but we're losing. Seems like when you get ambidextric with it, you can make something happen. And that's what's going to happen here. Because after 96 years and we ain't unified yet, and we still trying to go back to that same circle, merry-go-round that's not unified, we from my perspective, I'm not doing this by myself. I have over 2 million people going with me and what I'm doing, and they've been backing me. And I have a mother plane full of brothers and sisters. But the only reason we got like this is because we start praying and fasting, which disciplines us and eradicates, like Jesus said, the demon-possessed boy can only come out by prayer and fasting. And this is the system that we're up under, praying and fasting. And we're making things happen, and we're shining a light. The scripture said, work so that Allah, the messenger, and the believers will see your work. This is how we're getting down over here. So I don't know how we're going to come together as a unit, but I would love to work with you. I would love to work with the brothers. Like you said, everyone going to be something under a nation. You're going to have Christians, Moors, Sunni, this, that. That's a nation. I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm saying to you is this is the position that I am. If we can't pray and fast and discipline ourselves internally, then we'll be spinning our wheels like human hamsters on a treadmill, like we've been so far. So that's my point.
Brother, you just said you got people on the mother plane, brother. Like, see, I'm not depending on the mother plane. So that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between our approach. That's all I'm saying. There's a difference.
You misunderstood.
You
misunderstood.
Okay,
you misunderstood the mother.
Okay, what is the mother plane? Is that the same mother plane that Elijah Muhammad was talking about?
Well, the mother plane that we're talking about is not a physical mother plane outside of you. It's a unit of people who got has unified under one mind. That's
I'm talking about. Is that the mother? That's why I need clarification. Is it the same mother plane that Elijah Muhammad was taling about?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. So let me scrap that. I already said, hold up there. You better not be waiting on the mother plane. Now, let me wrap with this, brother. At the end of the day, I like to have these conversations so we can find good points to maybe build upon and maybe the audience can listen to, et cetera, et cetera. And we can't say what these conversations can benefit the listener. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, if you thinking that we all going to unite and that's how you see unity, then you didn't miss the whole message. We are never all going to unite. We never all been united. But what's going to happen is the like-minded people will unite. I don't care. I have no interest in all of us uniting. So every time someone talks about unity, they always talk about it's been 90 years, it's been 100 years, and we still, nobody's interested in that unless you are. The only thing I'm interested in, raw, uncut truth that can awaken the hearts and minds of the people, that we can work together as a collective to move to a better resolve to get where we need to go. Uniting with everybody ain't going to unite, brother. And we always talk about, when we have these conversations about the historical aspect of the Moors, the historical aspect of the Nation of Islam, everybody always got, and I mean everybody, they always got to come up, well, what is that doing for us today? And we were arguing about this. Like, this is a dialogue. This is a conversation. But it might not be doing nothing to you, but some people like history. Some people enjoy history. Some people can build themselves from understanding history from a new perspective. So we're talking about history, and we're talking about trying to move forward in the name of the teachers in which brought you out of that shallow grave, if you will, and brought me out of the grave. That's all we're talking about. So with that being said, I'm done with that, brother. Anything you want to say in closing? You want to apologize to my sister, the Empress? Look at my brother.
That's funny.
That's how we started.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Empress is in a spiritual dojo, and she's been trained to run 20 miles in soft sand. So that's a student of mine. And
right.
She's actually with me now.
Right.
On the Zoom. So she's already she's one of the top soldiers. So
all right.
She gets it. But I thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to come.
I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna do my old Taharka Bey thing. I'm kind of disappointed that you're not an active member in the NOI, and you sitting up here defending the NOI like you're an active member. Every time I turn around, y'all trick me, man. I be thinking that people is active members, FOI. You came up here, West African fly on me. I thought you was going to have the NOI demonstration laid out, sharp, and cut a knife with your creases, and you came out here, West African.
Well, I came out to show you the evolution of a black man, or Asiatic black man. I showed you the evolution, and I thought I did a fairly decent job in giving that to you. I wasn't really trying to give it to you as an individual. I was trying to give it to us, so they can see what the truth did for me. And if you swallow the truth, it should do it to you. So that's what I was doing.
So the evolution, is that your ultimate evolution? Do you think that people gonna put down the WFD uniform and keep it moving?
No, I didn't put down the WFD.
Oh, you said
I never evolution. See, Allah is infinite in His wisdom.
Right.
So He said that you.
I'm just messing with you, brother.
He said that you certainly shall. He said that you certainly shall ascend after one stage after another mentally. That's Surah 84, ayat 19. And I'm just stepping as we go, and I'm not going to be placed on the glass ceiling.
But you're not an active member. So hey, you West African fresh, brother. I like it.
You know what? I yield to you, brother. The Holy Quran says, say peace.
All right, my brother, peace. Hey, look, like I think my brother got mad at me. I'm
not mad. I'm not mad at you, Fruit. I'm not mad at you, brother. No,
anyway,
family. Not hardly.
Make sure y'all leave a comment. I gotta get out of here too, my brother. I appreciate you for joining me. Look, family. I need y'all to leave some comments. Hold up. I need y'all to leave comments. Let me know what y'all think. Let me tell you what I think. I think the brother got on the show to lay out his perspective of his journey, when in fact the conversation was supposed to be clearly cut. I mean, it was supposed to be clearly cut about what truth can set us free. And basically what I was expecting was the roadmap of Elijah Muhammad from oppression to freedom. And I was just going to lay out the framework of the Moorish Science Temple of America that we govern ourselves by as a nation, to show that there's a framework for a nation to be at hand. And what do you have in relation to that? It's so unfortunate. I do get the last word because it is my show, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. But it's so unfortunate when we have these critical conversations that most people, Eric Muhammad cuss me out and say I got a monkey hat. My brother Abdul, and he said I was going to sleep on him. He sound like a NOI preacher. He was giving off feel good commentary. If you go back and look at this again, he was bringing feel good commentary that had no place in the structural, academic, religious conversation as we're looking for accuracy to get up out of this condition. He was literally giving pastor vibes. I just hope that one day that we can have some real conversations from a real academic perspective, like the Dr. Ben used to have. Y'all remember those conversations Dr. Ben used to have with other people with opposing thoughts? Y'all remember John Henry Clark, the academic conversations that he had? Y'all remember these conversations where we walked away was like, wow. Dr. John Henry Clark wasn't coming off no feel good, let's just get along with all humanity. He was coming from an academic perspective. Now, I hold back some of my stuff. Of course, once I see that it's not going in the academic area, I hold back my stuff. As you can see, let me show you something. I have plenty of slides waiting. I got plenty of slides waiting. I just still need to put them out at this point. Hopefully one day we will have a person like Wesley Muhammad, who claims to be an academia, to sit down with a nice moderator, with myself, and get busy. This person said, you both have the same roadmap. When that becomes clear, we might move forward. We don't have the same roadmap, Gloria. The Moorish Science Temple of America teaches our people their nationality. The Nation of Islam says their nationality is Islam. The Moorish Science Temple of America says a nationality can't be and will never be black. The Nation of Islam says they are the Asiatic black man. It's different. It's different, Gloria. It's very different. The Moorish Science Temple of America has a whole structure in place, no different than which the government in which you live, a whole structure in place to govern people so they can go from organization to nation. The Nation of Islam don't have that in place. This is why when Farad transitioned, disappeared, Elijah Muhammad assumed position. He wasn't appointed by Farad Muhammad. When Elijah transitioned, when Elijah transitioned, Farrakhan went with Warith until he didn't want to go no more. And then he assumed the position. In fact, the Nation of Islam under Farrakhan is not even the Nation of Islam. That is owned by Elijah Muhammad family. In fact, the Nation of Islam that is being used by Farrakhan is actually called Final Call Incorporated. But he uses Nation of Islam. Legally, that belongs to Elijah Muhammad family. Legally, it belongs to Elijah Muhammad family. So no, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's clearly not the same. And just like this person say, this is clownish because this person have not studied the critical points and this person don't really want to be free. See, when you really want to be free, you study every intricate measure from what you believe, what others believe, and then you come up with a summation. You know what I'm saying? Then you come up with a summation. And so my summation is that Prophet Noble Drew Ali laid the perfect blueprint for us to govern ourselves, to go from organization to nation. The Nation of Islam does not have that blueprint. Thank you so much for who's this legal L1 girl. I must be cooking tonight. I really appreciate that. Thanks. You know what I mean? This channel be struggling. They say I got 35 followers now. So I just listen, family, listen. At the end of the day, this is not to throw shade on brothers in the Nation of Islam. And let me be clear, family. Much of what I'm saying, people in the Nation of Islam already know. Much of what I'm saying, people in the Nation of Islam already know. I'm not saying nothing they don't know. Now, people might get emotional when I say it, but I'm not saying nothing they don't know. They know exactly what I'm saying. In fact, it's public information. And you can go and look it up. Much of what Elijah Muhammad had on file is in Chicago archives. You can go and look it up. When I say that the Nation of Islam did not own these businesses as it relates to a nation as an organization where there's a hierarchy and all that, I say what I mean. The NOI was owned by Elijah Muhammad, not a group of people, not a council, none of that. When you look at the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's filing, it was passed down to Emil. Why? Because he was right there. He was on a council. When you look at the filing of the Moorish Science Temple of America that I'm a part of, there's a council there. That means it's not one person. It's not one person. And when I say it's a council, I don't mean a Supreme Grand Council. I mean there is a board. So it don't fall on one person. So in other words, when Elijah Muhammad transitioned, that stuff went to Warith Deen Muhammad. This what makes Farrakhan, whether people can say what they want about Farrakhan, but this is what makes Farrakhan so ingenious. Because he started from nothing. He built the Nation of Islam from nothing. All that Elijah Muhammad that he had acquired, either the children took it or the creditors took it. And Farrakhan built it from scratch. That's right. That's right. Not one building did Farrakhan get from the old Nation of Islam from under Elijah. Not one business. Not one fish, not one farm, not one nothing. That's what makes Farrakhan so unique. Because what you see in the Nation of Islam, he and his team built that from scratch. And everybody in the nation know I'm not lying. But the Farrakhan we see in the late 90s is not the same Farrakhan that we seen in the 80s. Not the same. It's not the same. It is what it is. So my thing is, do we want to be free or not? Somebody said no. Oh, he ain't talking to me. The thing is do we want to be free or not? If we want to be free from the oppressive nature of this oppressive society, then at some point we're going to have to build our own. We're going to have a structural, sound administrative process that is consistent and competitive with governments of the world. Or we ain't trying to be free. We too busy trying to unite with people that don't want to unite with us, that look like us, instead of coming up with the structural process that will govern us. We steady want to govern each other instead of find the process that govern us. I follow the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teachings, and there's a process that governs us. There's a system that governs us. There's a set of rules. There's a set of regulations. There's a set of laws. There's a structure in place, a well-balanced structure in place that governs us. And this same structure is to metamorphose, or is to morph, if you will, into a full-blown nation. Most of these people out here are organizations with no vision of how to become a nation. And I'm saying, if you do, show me what you got. I'm showing you the blueprint that I got from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm showing you the executive. I'm showing you the judicial. I'm showing you what else? Maybe lose my thought. I'm showing you all elements is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Let me get it back for you real quick. I'm gonna show you all the elements of what I know we need. I mean, it just is what it is. Let me show you what I said. There it is. All the branches of what it takes to run a government in this society. You know what I'm saying? The legislative, executive, and judicial. We have these elements. It is what it is. The Mosque Cares is modern version of the original NOI. I'm just saying, family, let me say this and get out of here. Family, what I'm teaching you today, Moors under the Moorish Science Temple of America banner, they don't even talk about this. You hear what I'm saying? They don't even talk about this. In fact, many people that call themselves Moorish America, they are not even familiar with the structure and what I just talked about in brief here. Most are not even familiar with it. Most of them are 501c3s. Sharif Anil Bey, that is a great articulator. They under 501c3s calling themselves Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. You can never be free under 501c3 as your religious pathway to freedom. Never. Because your checks and balance come from the very people that you're saying that you want to try to separate yourself from at some point in time in the foreseen future. These people that you see with feds is on talking all this crazy stuff, they not under no organized structure of the Moorish Science Temple of America. These people that sell them fake license, these people that sell them fake tags, they not under any structure. They're not under any of that. These people are just on the internet talking. Their families ain't Moorish American. They're not governed by a system of rules, regulations, and laws established by Prophet Noble Drew Ali to walk us into nation. Most people don't even know what it is. So don't let affairs fool you. And if anybody says something, listen, let me say this. If anybody say something pseudo about Moors, I give you permission to say Taharka Bey would love to talk to you. Family, thank you for the super chat, family. I want y'all to say for me, I want everybody to give me a 7. When you see somebody talking pseudo about the Moorish Science Temple of America or Prophet Noble Drew Ali, say Taharka Bey, Moorish World TV would gladly have you as a guest to challenge what you say. But make sure it's pseudo about the Moorish Science. I don't care if it's a right to travel. I don't care if it's that fake paperwork redemption. I don't care what it is. You tell them Taharka Bey said you are welcome on the show. That's it. That's right. You tell them they're welcome on the show. And all they got to do is email me. It's Taharka Bey everything. You can't forget it. TaharkaBey@gmail.com. Let me explain something to you. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example real quick, and I'm going to get out of here. My Royal, he says, Asiatic nation building, right? Now, peep the term Asiatic. Peep the term Asiatic. And one would say, Asiatic? I did a whole lecture on this in part at Dr. Asar establishment here in Baltimore. And most people are not familiar with the term Asiatic, right? Most of y'all believe in the Bible. The setting of the Garden of Eden, it is what they now call Asia. If you believe in the Garden of Eden, the first man would come out the ground of Asia, where would make the first man Asiatic. That's where the term derives from. All right. Now, Africa is not the original name of the entire area that we call Africa today. Africa was a little area called Afrique. If I'm saying it correctly, you know I can butcher some words. In North Africa. In fact, when the Europeans would ultimately call that area of North Africa above the Sahara, what they would call that North Africa, what they would often call Africa, the bottom was called Ethiopia. The entire bottom was called Ethiopia. This is how Europeans named it. Our ancestors are the ones who give the name of Asu, which will ultimately translate into Asia for the whole landmass. This is where you get the term Eurasia from. They gave the term to the whole landmass because where you see what is the Levant is connected right to Egypt. This is why in the Bible it says Abraham went to Egypt. They could walk there. The point that I'm making is that when people start talking about Asiatic, you're using a European concept and European boundaries in order to try to disqualify something. When our forefathers and foremothers are the one who gave the name Asu to the continent, to the landmass, to the whole planet. So you don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not no Asiatic. Why did Muhammad run to Ethiopia? Because they were seen as one people. The European put the demarcation line there and said, this is Asia and this is Africa. The European did that. These are all one people. But you would have to go back in time to see the unification of the original landmass name to understand what the Moors are talking about. And the reason why it is so important to understand this is because, again, if you believe in the Bible, the setting of the first man is in Asia. If you believe in the Quran, the setting of the first man is in Asia. If you believe in the Bible, but Asia is not the Chinese eye people that you're looking for. Asia is not the pale Arab that you're looking for. At that time, Asia, didn't it tell you in the Bible that a river that ran through and then it meant to Ethiopia? It's all one same place. The European put the demarcation line on it. So we're repeating and regurgitating European psychology and demarcation lines that came later and arguing points that don't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't even make sense. America, somebody, that must be Tariq. Plebiscite jail babble, for real, for real. You're welcome on the show too. American Negro, you welcome on the show too. You're welcome on the show too. You're welcome on the show too. Thank you. Genesis 2:8. The Lord planted a garden eastward in Eden. You're welcome on the show too. The point that I'm making is this, family. Most Moors would drop the ball on many of these points. Most Moors would drop the ball on many of these points. See, I remember reading the Bible and not believing everything before I even was introduced to the Moorish Science Temple of America. I remember reading the Quran and be like, man, this sounds like Chinese to me. This sounds like Mandarin. What are they talking about? I remember trying to read the Medunetta of one of the translations, and it never made sense to me. Not until I studied the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and it gave me a foundation, and I looked through the eyes of the lenses of Moorish concepts, that all of this stuff makes sense to me. That's why I said, as nothing about the Moorish Science Temple of America taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, not these crazy Negroes, taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that is not right and exact. Not nothing. Not nothing. There's not nothing. And when I say nothing, I'm saying nothing. Because I don't believe that all of us are subjugated to flaw. I mean, I don't believe that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is the only one that put a message that is flawless. I just came upon Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I chose to study that thoroughly. But I believe that there's many people on the planet that has access to flawless information that could get us out of this condition. But many of us, mind is not ready, so the teacher will not appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Most of us ain't ready. And so when I say something like that about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, oh man, that's a cult. No, you just haven't experienced. You just haven't experienced someone that has been right and exact. And if you open your mind up, the teacher will appear. The teacher will appear. The teacher will appear. Most people have so much doubt. This is why they can't be successful in anything that they endeavor to do. But our ancestors didn't have no doubt. And the things that they endeavored, they didn't have no doubt. Can you imagine somebody standing in front of a group of people and saying that we're going to build this structure and it's going to be taller than any other structure on the planet, and we're going to use these big boulders? And the guy Pan-African, he would tell the Pharaoh the same thing he's saying to me. GS, go to bed, you're bugging. He would say the same thing. He would say same thing to the Nesut. Nesut, you're bugging. Go to bed. You're bugging. We ain't gonna build nothing that big. We ain't gonna have shafts that the size of cities underneath these pyramids. Go to bed, Nesut. Go to bed. Until we have confidence in ourselves and we understand that our ability is unlimited, then we will have access to teachings and understanding that also enhance our unlimited capabilities. We need to stop putting limits on ourselves. Stop thinking that we of like-minded can't come together. Stop thinking that we're fighting for unity. All you got to do is find the right mind people, like-minded people. Don't fight for unity. Just keep your eyes open for like-minded people, and all things will come together. With that being said, I was on my soapbox, so I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm going to land my mother plane, and I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for all your support, family. Thank you for the super chats. Very, 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 very inspiring. The super chat, and all the support. Starlight, Cryptonomics, M. Nugent, all my friends, man, anybody, man. I really appreciate that. Young Money, thank you so much. Rockman, and everybody else, man. Even those who, Hannibal L, but even those that was in here and they were they were just upset because of the presentation as it relates to the Nation of Islam. Family, at the end of the day, do you want to know the truth of us or don't you? Do you want to be interested in walking our way towards liberation or don't you? At some point in time, whether we do it or those after us do it, we are going to have to come into our own as a nation of people. No different than the Chinese, no different than the Japanese, no different than any other nation of people, no different than when America was formed and they said, we're not sending we're not sending Great Britain nothing. At some point, whether we are here, listen, whether we are here or whether we are not, it's going to happen. It is what it is. This person said, NOI accomplished way more than the Moors. I invite you to come on the show and let's put it to the test. Let's put it to the test. See, when people say stuff like that, don't let the pictures fool you. Let's put it to the test. If you think that NOI accomplished more than the Moors, I say let's put it to the test. It depends what you feel accomplished. Let me land my mother plane. Shout out to my brother, Dr. Assar, for all your unwavering support. Thurman Smart, East B, you know how I do. I appreciate y'all, family. I'm gonna get out of here. Had to get on my soapbox. Peace and love, family. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I need to stop debating and just start teaching, man. Every time I think I'm gonna have a debate, it's always a soft, smooth talking story, man. Always, man. I just can't get a raw debate. Somebody either cuss me out or somebody either cuss me out or, brother, we need to find a way to get along because it's been 100 years and nah. I just want to deal with the academia. I just want to deal with the historical process. I saw Pan-African say, I'll get my minister to debate you. Oh, here we go. What would be the debate, Pan-African? What would be the debate? What would be the debate? Hold up. We got one. Yeah, man. Arno Bay, can we get along? That's the governor. That's the governor of Detroit. Of Detroit, Michigan. The governor of Detroit, Michigan, you know what I mean? He act like he don't know the system. Talking about, can we just all get along? That's the governor right there. That's one of the governors right there in the Moorish Science Temple of America right there. He got a Pan-African minister. Hey, Crip, he got a Pan-African minister. What's the name of the organization? Hey, Doc. You got a Pan-African. Man. Somebody say debate. You guys should be tired of debating. It's not building anything. And that's where you're wrong. And that's where you're wrong. Let me share something with you real quick. Can I share something with you real quick? If you are in the Detroit area, all right? If you are in the Detroit area, all right, and you are near 7 Mile, all right, at 23,689 West 7 Mile Road, school is out, family. June 13th, 2026. They got a special guest, Smiley the hip hop clown. Noble Temple number 4, West Side, family. Bring your children out if you are in the Detroit area. If you are in the 7 Mile Road area, bring your children out for some healthy, clean fun with the hip hop clown. This is hosted by the Morris Science Temple of America, Noble Temple number 4, West Side Temple. Family, listen to me. There is no one that's going to try to make you join. There is no one that's going to try to put a fez on your head. They want the children to have wholesome, safe fun. They got face paint, balloon animals, and all sorts of contests, family. Come on out and celebrate. School is out 4 to 9 p.m. If you say we ain't doing nothing, then you're lying to yourself. You ain't got the lie, Craig. You ain't got the lie, Craig. I ain't doing nothing. Shoot, I tell you what, the temples under my leadership, they doing way more than I could ever do. Because guess why? It takes more to do more. That's right. By myself, I could never do what everybody is doing. And we doing some amazing things. I mean, you ain't got to lie. You ain't got to lie. But if you're in the Detroit area, family, come out to, man, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful event space out there on 7 Mile. Let the children come out and pot it down with the hip-hop clown. The hip-hop clown. I'm about to Google him. Somebody Google the hip-hop clown. Let's see if he official. Peace and love, family.